Well, AEW Dynamite just went on their go home show before we go to this Sunday's All Out with some big matches. We even got three events from one, which is a collaboration by IWC, which stands for International Wrestling Cartel, and NEW Northeast Wrestling, called the Superstar Showdown. Also, two events on the same day by DDT Pro Wrestling, a day show and an evening show. So, let's begin with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, let's begin with AEW. But before I begin reviewing what's going on in AEW Dynamite for the Go Home show, I want to make this announcement. It's now been revealed that the match between Andrade and Pac will not take place this coming Sunday due to travel issues coming from Pac. But however, Andrade wants to have a match with any opponent. However, we don't know if this is a good thing. Keep in mind, in the very first All Out pay-per-view, Kenny Omega was supposed to face against Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley could not make it due to a staph infection on his elbow, so it was replaced by Pac, which was a good match. But however, who could that be? There's speculations about, could it be Adam Cole? Could it be Daniel Bryanson? Who knows? I say it's going to be a very interesting thing, but at the moment I'm basically biased. At the moment, can't determine whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see what happens this coming Sunday. But right now, let's go with Dynamite. The opening match was, of course, the long-awaited rivalry between two different tag teams from two separate factions. I'm talking about FTR along with Tully Blanchard versus Santana and Ortiz. I have to say this was a great opener. Now, as you know, Cash Wheeler was in fact injured due to some nerve damage on his wrist right here. I saw the picture, so disgusting, but it's still unclear whether if he will continue to wrestle, or not. He said that he's having a hard time trying to get his wrist fired up. Remember, he's nerve damage could cause numbness. You may not feel a thing, which could be a problem. But what I did like is that he was being careful not to injure himself even further. But the match was great. I have to say it played out amazingly, and I have to say that both of them were almost equally matched. But however, it was Santana Ortiz with the better combinations to take out FTR, winning this match. Now, as you know, what happened this past during an event that took place last week, Daniel Garcia attacked Darby Allin, and now they want to destroy Darby Allin before they get to his match against CM Punk in All Out. So this is more like a warning. They want to ensure that they will never get there. Now, I have to say, 2.0, this is a new version that I prefer to be, because they put them as jobbers at WWE, and I think many people will agree they never got the recognition that they deserve, the more of the storyline build up or any of the way they should behave. I have to say, it was pretty good. Now, as soon as this happened, Punk shows up, explaining more about his upcoming match against Darby, saying that this could be devastating if he loses. But the more he tries to talk, he was attacked viciously by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia to ensure he never makes it to All Out. However, Darby Allin and Sting came out and they took them out, and we finally see CM Punk fight back, and he pulled off the GTS onto Jeff Parker, putting him to sleep once and for all. Now, Sting gave up an amazing promo where he talks about he never thought he would ever be in the same ring with him, but he made it perfectly clear at All Out that he will not be in ringside with Darby Allin. He wants this match to go one-on-one. He's being an honorable wrestler, showing that I will not interfere. I know that Darby can handle it. So this is going to be one interesting match that we definitely cannot miss. Now, as you know, we have the match between MJF and Chris Jericho. If Jericho loses, he has no other choice but to leave the in-ring work and be commentator. So Tony Schiavone, unfortunately, ended up in the short stick, ended up interviewing with MJF, a person he despised, and of course, MJF said that he is after his throne, saying that he will take over his spot. So that's pretty much what happened. As for Jericho, he even said the same, almost a similar thing to MJF, that he wants more, but he took a risk to put his career on the line. The reason he did that, he explained his reasons. He took a chance to go with AEW when he first started. Now people would say this is a major risk to start a promotion, but Jericho took a chance, and I think it played out a very fantastic story. Jericho knows the risk, and he's willing to take it, and I think that's a pretty good story to tell. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. Now, Orange Cassidy was booked in the match against Jack Evans, since this is more of a payback for what happened last week when Orange Cassidy defeated Matt Hardy and made him bleed out. However, the match ended in Orange Cassidy's favor, but Matt Hardy continues to pound him, and then here comes Yuta and Chuck to help him. But however, they were attacked by the rest of the HFO. But the Jurassic Express came out to help them out, to give them a helping hand, while the HFO ran scarce. Now, as you know, recently we've been seeing, for this Sunday, we got Miro putting the TNT title on the line against Eddie Kingston. Now, Eddie Kingston did have some few words to say to Miro about this ridiculous way that he's been acting. So he said, we'll see if you still become God's favorite champion if he loses. So we'll see when we get there. Now, the next match we have is Powerhouse Hobbs along with Hook taking on Brian Cage. Now, this is becoming a feud between Cage, who had enough of Team Taz for a while. Team Taz claims that Brian Cage was never a team player. So basically, it's more like the he said, she said. But I knew right from the start that Ricky Stark was going to get involved and cost Brian Cage the match. But as soon as Powerhouse Hobbs won the match, they decided to give him a beatdown. So we'll see what's going to happen then. Now, this next one we see is QT Marshall along with members of the Factory, along with two new guys I've never heard of, calling out Paul White. He comes out, try to take down the Factory, which he did, and then here comes the Gun Club giving him the helping hand. But out of the blue, something happened. The Gun Club turned on Paul White, attacking him in the hip where he had his injury. It's still unclear why Billy Gunn did this. Why would he betray someone who was his friend? It's still unclear, but it did give QT Marshall the advantage. Now, QT doesn't know what to make of this whatsoever. But however, he took advantage to give him the diamond cutter, saying that this is how it's going to end with him. Now, as you know, Britt Baker, she is set to face against Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's title. She made a favor with Tony Khan, saying there's a free agent. Now, there's been speculation that the free agent she's been referring to is her real-life boyfriend, Adam Cole. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, but we definitely can see that happen. So, in exchange for this free agent, she wanted Chris Statlander to be in a handicap match against her enforcers, Rebel and Jamie Hayter, at Rampage. Now we get a very interesting women's match. We got Penelope Ford along with the Bunny taking on Tay Conti. As you know, last time Tay Conti lost in the match against the Bunny, all thanks to the interference from Penelope Ford. But this time, Tay Conti was not a happy camper for losing up. She wasn't all smiling cheery, but she pulled up an amazing match. That just a lot of judo punches, anything that she could do to win the match, and that's exactly what she did. However, this Bunny and Penelope decided to give her a beatdown, but I did not expect she would show up because I presumed she would show up at All Out, but I'm cool with it. Anna Jay returns to AEW after a long 6 to 12 month uh, being injured. Of course, we know this is something we all been expecting, and it was great. And now it's been confirmed that she will be at the Casino Battle Royale along with Tay Conti. So basically, Tay has someone she can count on to have her back. But this is good, and also I think this could be a good thing for a storyline, continuing with the Dark Order. Maybe, hopefully, Anna Jay can bring peace within the Dark Order, trying to say, look, we need to accept Hangman Page's decision, whether we like it or not. Now, as you know, there is another person involved in the Casino Battle Royale for the women's side, Thunder Rosa. She was about to give her interview, but out of the blue, she was attacked by two of the baddest women in AEW. One side, Nyla Rose, the other, Jade Cargill. So basically, they took care of her. They're about to get into each other's face. But however, Mark Sterling made it perfectly clear, take it up in the ring, you get more money from there. So, Vicky agreed. Now, our main event was Jurassic Express teaming up with the Lucha Brothers to take on the Elite, which consisted of the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers. This match was very interesting. Too many high spots. I have to say, the best moments is with Ray Phoenix. However, it went to another interference by Cutler to ensure they win the match. But all of this was nothing but a trap. In the post match, Kenny comes out. He had Don Callis to lower down the cage to lock himself in with certain people. Christian Cage showed up to, to give the helping hand, but this was a trap to get three individuals in the cage. Christian Cage, who we all know is in line to challenge Kenny for the AEW World title, and the Lucha Brothers for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Now, the reinforcements have tried to get in the cage. However, the other Cutler, Nakasawa, and the rest of the Elite did not allow them to get in to ensure there was no way they could get in. They just left them lying around. So there are signs of indications from several of my friends who believe because of this, there is a chance that the Bucks could lose the titles and so would Kenny lose his title. But I don't know for sure if that's the indication on that. But I have to say it was a pretty good show. I don't know how you guys would feel about it, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen on Rampage, and then we get to All Out. Right now, I ended right here with AEW Dynamite. I say let's move forward with the past events. I say let's do the collaboration with IWC and NEW. All right. So this next review, this happened recently on the 23rd of July. This one is from IWC, which stands for International Wrestling Cartel, and NEW, which is the Northeast Wrestling, a promotion I'm familiar with. I have seen videos from them time and time again. We had wrestlers like we know, like from Cody, the Bucks, Adam Cole, anybody. One of the most popular independent promotions in the entire East Coast. Um, it was a pretty good show, and the event is called Superstar Showdown. Basically, you have wrestlers you may have heard. Now, the commentating group, I have to say, did an amazing job because there were some wrestlers that they may mention, and I just started to think back, oh, so these are the wrestlers that showed up in AEW, the jobbers. But it would make sense. So let's start from there. The first match is a tag team match. We have the Amazing Graysons, Tommy and JP Grayson, along with this guy named Jared something, part of the Trust Fund, taking on main event Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr. Now, these two teams have been mentioned that they were part of AEW Dark. I do remember seeing these guys there. So, but it was a good match, not to mention one of the most highly fun matches I had seen in the tag team division in this one. And I was surprised how this one ended. It ended with the main event beating them due to the fact there's been outside interference, but it did not waver them one way or the other. So the main event won this one with a pinfall. The next match is a battle royal. Now I'm not gonna mention any of the names that were involved. There's too many, but I want to confess this match went really, really, really fast. It wasn't take long, but the winner, I don't know who he is. His name is Bulk Nasty. Now, if any of you guys who are viewers are from the East Coast know who this guy is, tell me who he is because I never heard of him, but I heard that he was the IWC champion or something like that before. I don't know, but it was a really It wasn't like to me that interesting because it went that fast. The next match we have women's match. We got Riley Shepard and Megan Bayne. Now Megan Bayne, I do am familiarized with her. I've seen her countless times on AEW Dark or Elevation. Uh, to me, I think this is a really good match to watch because it showed Megan Bayne how she is honing in her skills because her job as a jobber kind of fits in to that. But I'm not gonna lie, pretty good match. Megan Bayne is a very interesting wrestler to follow. Not much I heard about Riley Shepard, but she did a pretty good job too. But however, Megan Bayne won this one completely. Next match we got Wrecking Ball Legarsky taking on Cole Carter. Cole Carter, I have seen him before, according to the commentators. He was the guy who got himself knocked out by none other than Anthony Ogogo at an AEW Dark or so. But I have to say, Wrecking Ball, he is a very interesting wrestler to follow because um, what makes him a Wrecking Ball, I don't know, but it's a lot of fun. But Wrecking Ball took the victory on this particular match, which was pretty good. I am not gonna lie about that. Next match, we got a very special match. This is coming from two wrestlers we have seen, but they known each other from NXT. I'm talking about Juice Robinson and Enzo. Now, this was a very high anticipated match. Now, some of you are saying, "What are these two guys doing in this event?" I don't know. I don't care. But it was exciting. But it ended in a time limit draw. Now, fans could get upset when it comes to that. However, both men prefer let's just end it right now. Let's have 5 more minutes, which what they want. But however, Jared from the trust fund sent two of his goons to attack both men because they felt these guys are irrelevant. They don't care who they are or where they're from because they believe this is their house. However, you do not interrupt a match between these two guys, especially two superstars in the entire wrestling business. So that's gonna happen. It turns out they want a tag match to tear these guys apart for ruining their moment. Don't ever ruin a moment, and hopefully we can get to see that. I'm gonna see if I can follow more on that. Next match is a tag team match for the IWC tag team titles. We got the champions, Money Shot, consistent of Elijah Dean and Zach Nistrom, um, along with Dime Price taking on the IWC champion, Andrew Palace, and someone we know. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Yes, you know who that is, Carlito. It was a fun, interesting match. It's great to see Carlito. I was like hoping that he won the tag team titles, but however, referee got knocked down, all thanks to Money Shot, and of course another referee showed up, and it kind of went into the direction for Andrew Palace and Carlito to win, which they did. However, the first ref called the match disqualification. They believed he thought Andrew Palace knocked him out, but that wasn't his fault. Now, Andrew Palace was not a happy camper the way this match ended, but Carlito decided, you know what, I'm going to backstab him. So that's what he did. He backstabbed him for his incompetence for accusing Andrew Palace of attacking him during the match. So he has no one else but to blame but himself for believing that. Now, the next match we have two guys I don't know who they are, Tito Orchid and Alexander Paulo. Um, this guy Alexander Paulo dressed up like a guy from Greece, not the movie, but the country Greece. But I don't know much about them. But I'll tell you who won. Tito Orchid won. He seems like a powerhouse. Then we got this mixed tag team match. We got Katie Arquette, Antonio Zambrano, along with Nikki Blue taking on Raylan and, of course, Sam Adonis. I have to say, it was a fun match seeing those two. If you guys know this, both Raylan and Sam Adonis are a real life couple, and two, Sam Adonis is the brother of WWE's commentator Corey Graves. And it was a fun match, and I think many fans were rooting for Adonis and Raylan, and it was really interesting. I think it was fun, it was interesting, and of course, it was Raylan and Sam Adonis that took the victory on this one. Now, the next match we have for main event, Spencer Slade. You may have seen him in AEW. He was that one wrestler who is deaf, taking on Big Cass. I thought this match was going to go quick, but it didn't. It was so good because, as you know, I mentioned Spencer Slade. He's deaf, and he's wearing like one of those wrestling headbands that they use in amateur wrestling. But it played out very nicely, and I have to say, Big Cass winning this match, but taking this match a little longer, fantastic. I like it. I enjoyed it, and hopefully I can see more of these guys on their separate promotions. But we'll see that. But right now, I'll end it right here for all of you. Alright, so we got DDT Pro Wrestling Audience Tour 2021 in Fukuoka. This is on the 29th of May. This is the day show. Now, I said two events, 5 DDT, day and evening. Pretty good event. I think it was pretty interesting. So let's go from start to finish. The first match we got Shinjiro Tagagi teaming with Yuki Inio taking on Antonio Honda and Danshuko Dino. Now, as you know, Danshuko Dino, he's a freaking a maniac who pulls his pants down for no apparent reason. And I was just hoping that he doesn't make out with Yuki Inio again to make it too awkward. But, however, it was Antonio Honda who picked up the victory for everyone because all he cares about is winning. That's what makes him a very interesting wrestler to follow. Even though his comedic style is awesome, but his winning ways never cease to amaze me. The next up we got is a 6-man tag team match. We got Keigo Nakamura, Yusuke Okuda, and Makoto Oshii taking on all the members of Eruption, Saki Akia, Yukio Sakaguchi, Katsusada Iguchi. Now, I love Eruption because they're a unique team. Reason is, Saki, who is the only female in this group, she can take on guys and beat their heads up. Not to mention, she is also from Tokyo Yoshi Pro as an alternate ego known as Saki-sama. So I have to say it was a pretty good follow. I was surprised, and of course the weakest link to get themselves pinned in this one is, I hate to say his name, but he's an interesting wrestler to follow with his energy, but he's always the one who has to get the pinfall. I'm talking about Keigo, but it was Saki Akia who put him in the pinfall, allowing for herself and her team to win this match. Next up is a singles match. We got Yukio Naya taking on Soma Takawa. What amazing match. I have to say it was pretty good. Soma, who not too long ago did not win the DDT Universal title, but it was such a good match. I enjoyed that, and it showed a little more of Soma Takawa as a singles competitor, but he did a pretty good job. And however, it was him who pinned Yukio Naya in order to take the pinfall for everyone else. Well, should I say he just pinned for himself to prove he can still do it as a singles competitor. Next match we got Akito and Ajima taking on 37 Kamina, consisting of Shun Katsumata and Yuki Ino. And on the night in the evening show, we have Yukio and Akito facing off for the DDT Universal title. But as you know, um, uh, Yukio Ino, Shuna Katsumata, and Akito were once part of a faction known as All Out. So this is going to be an interesting story. It did told in this one, Akito really won this match to prove this is his time to shine as one of the most interesting as a champion. But this is not far from over. That's until the evening show. Excuse me. Next match we got Disaster Box, consistent of Kazuki Irada, Naomi Yoshimura, and Toru Owashi. Now, in this particular match, I did notice Irada, he wasn't being cocky, he wasn't trying to take the spotlight. He's now getting into his game face, knowing Damnation, their opponents, which consisted of Densuke Sasaki, Yuji Ino, and Tetsuya Endo, that there are serious implications for them. They know, but also they can challenge them if they pin both either Yuji Ino or Tetsuya Endo, because they are the current KOD 6-man tag team champions, and that's something that definitely could happen. But however, it did not. It was, of course, Yuji Ino that picked up Tetsuya Endo, who picked up the victory for his team when he pinned, of course, uh, Irada, in order to force him to tap out, which was a very bad loss for them. Main event, we got 37 Kamina, Mao, Konosuke Takeshita taking on Chris Brooks and Arishima. It's one hell of a match, I have to say. I love it. Great match. I give it a 10 out of 10 on this one. You know, every match I see is pretty good. However, the match ended in a time limit draw. Hope we could see this match again, but only time will tell. So right now, let's move forward with the evening show of DDT Pro Wrestling. Okay, the last thing I'm going to review is the night show for DDT Pro Wrestling, the Audience Tour 2021 in Fukuoka, if I pronounced it right. So, opening match was Hideki Okatani teaming with members of Eruption, Saki Akia, Yukio Sakaguchi taking on Yukio Naya, Antonio Honda, and Chris Brooks. It was a pretty fun match, of course. You can tell that Antonio Honda, with his comedic ways, was going to allow himself to win. And that's what happened, and it was Chris Brooks that put up the submission to force, what's his name? Hideki Okatani to make the pinfall. But however, he should have seen this coming, as you guys noticed or not. Chris Brooks was the DDT Ironman Heavy Metalweight Champion, which is the 24/7 title. That title is defended 24/7, anytime, anywhere. Antonio Honda took the advantage and pinned Chris Brooks to win the title, and then all of a sudden, a previous champion reclaimed it back, and that's Saki Akia. Now, Chris Brooks was not happy that Antonio Honda was stupid enough to do this, but he brought this upon himself. Next match we got Sanjiro Takagi teaming up with Danshuko Dino taking on Toi Kojima and Toru Owashi. Now, in this particular match, if you guys know this or not, Danshuko, he is more of a pervert, but also homosexual or bisexual, however you want to call it. He began to, I don't like to use this word, rape Toi Kojima, and then in disqualification. Now, the GM told him, stop with the humping. Just put up a good match. So it was restarted. It did. But Danshuko cannot keep his hands to himself. He continued to go on the offense to rape Toi Kojima, but there was no way of escaping from him, and that cost him the match. He even tried to run from him, but all of a sudden he was taken by Toy Kojima. I feel sorry for him that he has to deal with that. Next match, we got Yuki Ino teaming up with the other member of Eruption, Kazusada Iguchi, taking on Soul Dragon, and of course Damnation member Soma Takao. Awesome match. It was good. Not much I'm aware of. What's his name? Soul Dragon. I'll see if I can find out more about him when I get the chance. But however, it was Soma who picked up the victory for his team when he pinned Yuki Ino in this one. Next match, we got 37 Kamina in a 6-man tag team match. We got Mao, Shuma Katsumata, and Konosuke Takashita taking on Damnation's um, Daisuke Sasaki, Yuji Ino, and Tetsuya Ando. It was a really intense match. As you know, these two teams hate each other, but however, it was Damnation that put up the victory once again. Tetsuya Endo, who pinned Katsumata in this one. Next match, we got Disaster Box, consistent of Kazuki Irada, Naomi Yoshimura, and Harashima taking on Yosuke Okada and teaming with Juretsu, Makoto Oshii, and Jun Akiyama. In this particular match, it ended up in Disaster Box's favor. This is the first time something like this has happened, and I noticed that Irada did not try to bring out his little party mood or try to take the spotlight. This time he's taking things a little bit serious than he normally would. So he actually had the pinfall on this one, allowing for himself finally to, okay, it's time to take things seriously. Now the main event was for the DDT Universal title. We got two former teammates, Akito and Yuki Eno, who were once members of All Out, now facing off. This was one of those matches that it was so good because it showed the story about these two former friends now becoming rivals. But however, it was Yuki Ino who came over top to pin Akito for this match, retaining the Universal title. And I have to say, I love these shows. It's so good to watch. I hope you guys get to have a chance to see them too. Well, I hope you guys do enjoy this episode because there's a lot of more wrestling to cover, wrestling events that I missed that I haven't got the chance to catch up with, but I'm trying to do the best I can. Now, before I go and reveal the upcoming episode, anybody or any of my viewers out there who watch this, we need your help. This past Tuesday, tragedy struck in the Samoan dynasty. Rikishi's 16-year-old niece was murdered. They're asking for help if you have any of my viewers who have friends living in the San Francisco area. If you know information about it. Now, I don't have the direct link, but you can find it on his Twitter page and or Instagram page. This little girl didn't deserve to die this way, and of course, this crime spree in San Francisco is getting high. I'm just deeply heartbroken that this happened to someone, to a family member of Rikishi, and it's unfair that a 16-year-old girl's life was taken. So please, if you guys know people in that area in San Francisco who may know something, try to get a hotline. There is a reward for that for $50,000 or something like that. This is very heartbroken news, so let's give Rikishi the helping hand if we can. Now, before I go, I will actually tell what is going to be on the next episode. As always, we got NXT UK and Impact Wrestling. However, I will review past events from two different Yoshi promotions. One is Stardom, the Cinderella Tour in Matsumoto, and the other in Oz Academy, the Mayumi Osaki 35th anniversary, which is going to be good. I finally get to see another Oz Academy. It's been a while since I catch one, but this is going to be fun to watch. But as for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.